a martial arts movie podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer, Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler, Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master, Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Talk. I know Kung Fu. You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
Hey, Will, if you watched this movie and you did not know this was a part of the Police Story series, would you be surprised?
Okay, that was an intro I was thinking of. That was one way I was going to start that off too. We're talking about Police Story 4, right?
Jackie Chan's First Strike.
First Strike. I will always call it First Strike.
I mean, everybody kind of calls it. That's how it's notoriously just named everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is just First Strike because this does not feel at all like Police Story 4. At all. Or part of the Police Story series whatsoever. Yes and no?
Well, because he's not a police officer
He's
anymore.
a spy. He's James Bond.
He's James Bond, yeah. Even the music is kind of dictating that he's James Bond. This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at Super Cop, Police Story 3, that took the police officer in the story, and kind of took him into international waters, right?
Yes.
So you can see how the series would start to veer off from there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even think they ever mention his former life or anything based off of that. The only thing that's back is Bill Tung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Maggie Chung gone. No mention of him with his girlfriend anymore. They broke up off screen, probably.
Yeah. Oh God, no. There's nothing to really tether it to the other movies besides Bill Tung. It is its own beast. I think that's why I think really Maggie Chung is the thing that kind of makes Super Cop, or I officially call that Police Story 3. I don't even think of the subtitle at all. It's just Police Story 3. But there's a small tie-in, but this is just its own thing, and that's why I never really thought of it as a Police Story movie. So it's a standalone film. Also, the languages spoken in the movie. Now this is not a complaint. It's more like an observation. It's because the fact that it jumps between 5 languages. That I think that also makes it feel not tonal, but it does make it feel like a different movie. It feels more international for good reason. It is more international. We're in Australia. We're in Crimea. We are in Moscow. We're everywhere. We're jet setting across the entire world. So it's not just like, I know, in Police Story 3, I think we went to
Malaysia.
Malaysia. That's right.
Yeah.
We went to Malaysia, but that's really the extent of it. But here we're everywhere, so it feels very different. And,
well, there's why the problem with this movie is in Police Story 3, and this will be like the last I'm going to mention of that, is at least that story starts out as them being Hong Kong officers, and then they get kind of roped into going into Malaysia at the end.
Yes,
that works. Here, Jackie Chan was at the beginning of the movie, he was somehow working with the CIA for some reason because he was spying on some Ukrainian woman and assisting them. And then he is asked to go to, I believe it's Ukraine, right? Ukraine or Russia, and do a little more reconnaissance work. And then he was allowed to go on vacation, but then he gets roped back into the original mission. And then from there, that's when he starts globetrotting again.
Okay. All right. So you're touching on it, so you have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. What is this story? It is so absurdly complicated.
It's very, very complicated. So, as I mentioned, Jackie Chan's helping the CIA. He gets roped into this mission of helping, I guess, a branch of the Russian government try to retrieve parts of a nuclear device that was stolen by somebody.
Jackson Liu? Yeah.
Jackson Liu, is that who it was?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Jackson Liu, who has a sister who lives in Australia. And so he's in contact with her, and that's kind of how Jackie Chan ends up like globetrotting. At first, he's tracking Jackson Lu, and then the Russian officials are like, okay, continue the bit. This is the weird part. They're like, Jackie, continue the mission. We got permission from your superiors in Hong Kong to now work for us, as the translator is whispering in his ear. It is so weird because Jackie Chan's just like, okay. Yeah, like
Just goes with it.
he just goes with it. He's like, sure, I'll help you guys out. And then he's off. He's in a fucking submarine
Mm-hmm.
that's cut from the English dub
Yeah.
version. And then he magically ends up in Australia continuing this mission of looking for this guy. And so, yeah, ultimately, Jackie Chan is trying to find nuclear weapons.
Yes.
And it
very
leads
simple.
him all over the place. And yeah, that's mainly it.
All that I feel like the movie it goes all over the place. What you're paraphrasing, it makes it seem way simpler than it actually is. It is way more complicated, at least from my viewing experience.
When you're watching it, you're just like, okay, first he's with the CIA, now he's with the Hong Kong police, now he's in Ukraine, now he thinks he's on vacation, but no, he gets roped back into the mission. He just keeps on getting pulled in so many different directions. And like you said, he just goes with it every single time.
Yeah, and you're just like, all right, I guess I'm here now. All right, I guess I'm here.
It's only at the end of the movie where he's like, I think I'm gonna contact my superiors in Hong Kong and ask to be taken off of this case. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like maybe Jackie's also a surrogate for me because I feel like am I Jackie in this scenario because I have no idea why, but we're just going along with him and going to the next story beat, right? It feels a little like all over the place a lot for me. Yeah, but I also feel like regarding this movie, the fact that they keep jumping languages made it really like discombobulating for me. I mean, I normally don't complain about that, but something about the breakneck speed in which like information is doled at you, and then there's just constantly jumping languages. It's just like, oh my god, I can't keep up. I feel like I always had struggle with this movie. But yeah, and I cannot imagine what this experience would have been like had I watched the version you watched. Now I watched the theatrical cut, the uncut version, the cut version,
The English
one
dub. That came here
English.
to America.
Well, no, not English dub. It's the quote unquote original dub. You know, everyone's speaking their supposed languages.
Yeah.
Ukrainian, English, Cantonese, Mandarin, and whatever. All these different languages. But like, there's the international dub, which you watched. At tacks on another 20 minutes. I cannot imagine that. I feel like, does it fix the movie? I don't know, but the movie by itself, which is only like 80 something minutes, feels too long already.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the American version for
Sure.
simplicity's sake. For with the American version, the one that I grew up watching,
Yeah.
it's 80 minutes. It's weird. I always thought it was really fast, actually. Like I never minded it. Rewatching it now, I'm like, wow, this is like all over the place because like they cut there's the pacing is just way too fast because they're really editing stuff out to just get you into the action as quick as possible.
Yep.
The original version, the uncut version, it's longer, but the pacing's better because it just has a better flow to it because everything there is supposed to be there in how it was originally intended.
Okay, gotcha.
It's more convoluted because it has even more story, like even more story. all the characters that they kind of throw at you, they actually have more lines of dialogue. Even some of the goons have lines of dialogue.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't mind it. I kind of prefer it just because they have a little more action in the original version. They surprisingly cut out a little bit of action in the American version, which I feel almost never happens. So that was kind of shocking to see, but we can get to that later.
Sure. No, I'm actually very curious about that. But I mean, I do want to talk about the action in general. But I think a hang up I have with this movie with the exception of a few action moments, I never found this movie very memorable. Even though, yeah, like the final scene is of Jackie in the aquarium, and it's a underwater fight. It is, I don't know why it just doesn't stick out to me, and the movie itself like doesn't really have hold much regard for me. Like I don't really think about it much, with the exception of the one major fight halfway through the movie. It is fantastic. It is it's an amazing fight scene. But I think as a overall movie experience, this has always been one of those things that kind of like I watch it, I always ask myself, I'm like, oh yeah, did I know that it was part of the Police Story franchise? Oh, I forgot that. Okay, and then I forget, and then I think about that for too long, and then I watch the movie, and then I forget about it. And then rinse and repeat a couple years later when I watch it again. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This movie's just kind of meh for me. But I know you have a different experience. I know you have a little nostalgia for this movie.
Yeah, I had a lot of nostalgia for this because I agree. This is part of that sort of Jackie Chan film rotation that was on in my
Mhm.
household once he started breaking through to America. Because in the American version of this, he redubs his lines, even though
Yeah.
he was kind of speaking English in multiple
Hmm.
sections of the original.
Yeah.
He's now dubbing his entire dialogue, which is kind of fun. It actually makes it feel a little more authentic, which
Hmm.
um but this movie, yeah, this was one of the ones I grew up watching. It's like Rumble in the Bronx,
Yeah.
it's Super Cop, it's this one, it's Rush Hour. Like
Sure.
all the
Sure.
ones in like the
Mhm.
mid to late '90s and early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That.
so,
Mhm.
I like this movie. Rewatching it, it's definitely going down on the list. Uh, both versions, because yes, this, as we mentioned earlier in this review, it is more of a like James Bond adjacent sort of
Yeah.
film. Like they're turning him into a globetrotting agent at this
Yeah.
point. It's not at all a police story. This is a police side quest, if anything. But I don't know. I still kind of like it.
Mhm.
It's Jackie Chan just being himself and being pulled in so many different directions.
Mhm.
I don't know. Some of that stuff is fun to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, overall as a movie experience and rewatching this, I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
about this.
Right. And I don't want to come off completely harsh. Well, don't get me wrong. I don't love this movie. I have appreciation for aspects of it. But yeah, it's obviously not anywhere on my list of favorites. But for me, I think watching it again this time around, especially with the theatrical cut, the quote unquote American cut, I noticed that there's so many really bizarre things with the editing of it, right? I don't know if it's fixed in the uncut version, but man, there's like sound issues, like actual like I don't know if it's a dubbing thing or just the general sound design, the mixing, like audio, like you can clearly tell that that's like some sort of like on camera mic. Sometimes like the quality will jump, like whatever they're using to record audio will like just vastly change. It's like, well, that's just a room mic. Like, oh, especially like when there's like a scene where there's heavy dialogue, and then you switch to another scene, and then you can hear that ambient noise in the background, right? It's like it's just between Jackie and Bill Tongue. I think it's just because like we are globetrotting, so the equipment that they have on staff, on hand, shifts very wildly in terms of quality. So,
Probably,
but
yeah.
I can hear it. I'm like, I don't even think I have the best quality version. So I found that, but at the same time, I was just like I can hear it. I can actually hear the audio popping, in terms of like and I'm not the best audio guy, by the way. And then another thing is like, I found the general editing to be kind of like, and we're not talking about the action. I found it to be a little bit like jarring at times. It was like hard abrupt cuts into the next scene. Like there's not
Well, because
sometimes it didn't feel like
there's
there's natural
literal scenes
flows.
missing there. That's
Yes,
what's
yes.
happening. Yeah,
But it feels so abrupt. It's like
because there are
super
scenes
abrupt.
missing. That's
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling
They
you
don't
right now.
hide it well at all.
Well, they
They
did
really
no, they
don't.
did not. But that's what's happening. There are
Right.
scenes missing.
So you need to tell me, I mean, whether you want to jump into it in more detail or not, but like, is the international version that much better? Like in terms of fixing that pacing, fixing those things I just complained about.
Yeah, no, I said that earlier. I like the
Mhm,
pacing of the international version better. I thought I was going to watch it again
mhm,
before this review and kind of ignore it mostly,
mhm,
but I
mhm.
found myself paying attention despite not really caring about the characters because I felt there was just a timing improvement
Mhm, mhm.
off of adding in some of these scenes.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny when adding back time makes things can make things feel faster,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
really weird. But it
Mhm.
I felt it worked in this one, even though I again didn't really care for the story and the characters too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. I mean, all that stuff was fine and all. I think it's because I think it's all it is just it just feels really rushed. It feels so rushed that like you lose. It's like a compounding effect. It feels rushed, so therefore you don't develop interest in the story because you're too lost. So you don't develop as much interest in the characters of the story, and then the movie just feels like it drags on because of
Well,
that.
also the problem is there aren't many characters to get attached to in this movie. It's Jackie Chan. You gotta love Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
and I do like Jackie Chan. He's not. I don't know if I would say he's the same character from Police Story, but he's just himself at this point.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
then you have Jackson Lowe
Hmm.
as the arms dealer who he's chasing, who's not really a character. He's kind of dealing with some stuff with his father who's dying that
Yeah.
is not really relevant at all. And then you
Mhm.
have his sister, played
Sister.
by Annie Wu,
Annie.
who is
Mhm.
just there to be good looking girl who gets put in danger and kind of
Yeah.
helps out a little bit, kind of at the end. And then everyone else, it's like, oh, that's your generic villain. Those are your
Mm.
generic goons.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's it. We do have an early appearance from Nathan Jones.
Yes. His
Actually,
first film debut.
was that? Oh, is
Mm.
this his film
That's his
debut?
film.
Okay, I
Mhm.
didn't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he is. Man, that guy's fucking giant. I mean, that's why he was
You're literally the
basically.
Muay Thai giant.
Yeah, that's why he was hired for lots of martial arts films. He is
Yeah.
huge. And
Yeah.
when Jackie Chan opens the door and he
Uh-huh.
just takes up the whole door frame, it's a great sight gag. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, what is this guy?
Right. It's fun to see him. I'm like, oh, I just didn't. I guess I didn't think about it or remember that he was in this movie. But it was cool. It's cool. But that kind of leads us into a little bit into the action
Yes,
of
yes.
the movie. It is the reason to watch this movie. It's not always the only reason to watch a Jackie Chan movie, but I think for me, First Strike is the reason to watch the movie is for the action because
Yeah.
I don't care at all about the story or anything else we just mentioned. The action. You're here for the action.
Yes.
Um, it's not always great, and I feel mm, super jaded when I say that. Like, or spoiled. Spoiled is a better word for it. I feel very spoiled because I'm so like, I want this, but for me, it's not balls to the wall action all the time. Right? It's not overly impressive. I'm not. My jaw isn't on the ground, like just in awe the entire time.
Hmm.
With the exception of one really great scene in the movie, and it's the scene that like everyone knows, right? It's the ladder fight.
Yeah.
It's the scene of him fighting, one versus many, and he's using multiple props, sticks, like staffs, sticks, a dragon head or a lion dance head rather, and ultimately it ends with him using a step ladder, and it's amazing. It is a fantastic choreographed fight, and I love it. Everything else is just kind of middle of the road for me in terms of entertainment value. Not to say it's not impressive, it's just not as entertaining to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that.
Hmm.
And when you look at where this film falls in the release of his filmography, I think it kind of brings a little context to it, right? Because
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
you think about the action of Police Story 4, Jackie Chan's first strike.
Yeah. Hmm.
So Drunken Master 2 came out in 94, right?
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Then
right.
yeah, that was pretty much like that's like
The
considered
high
top
bar.
tier. That's
Yes.
top tier Jackie Chan fight choreography, right?
Hmm.
And then Rumble in the Bronx comes out, which is I'm not saying it's bad, but you can see that, he's not topping himself, but that's okay.
Hmm.
It's hitting this certain standard and he hurts himself.
Hmm.
Hurts his leg off of a stunt in Rumble in the Bronx.
Yep.
We go to Thunderbolt he's still making a movie, but he's heavily doubled because of that. He can't do lots of kicks, and he's just heavily doubled. I actually haven't seen that movie, but I know people say that
Mm-hmm.
because of the injury, that's
Mm-hmm.
people don't really think too fondly of this Jackie Chan film.
Mm-hmm.
After Thunderbolt, it's First Strike. And so my thinking is, okay, he's probably healed, but at this point, I'm wondering if he's thinking, how far do I push myself now because of because of
Sure.
this accident? Because if I have to keep on being contractually obligated to make films year after year, uh, am I going to endanger myself with some of these stunts or doing some of these fight scenes because I might have to get doubled again and create another Thunderbolt situation? And
Yeah.
that's not to excuse any of this, but that's me thinking like, oh, I'm wondering. And he's getting older at this point too. Like he's trying to scale back, and it's funny because I think this is a good way for him to do that. Become an international spy who is not a martial artist anymore. He's
Mhm.
getting into fight scenes and he's getting into action scenarios, but he's not. He's veering away from strictly a nonstop martial arts fight scene movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, in terms of where he is in his career at this point, he was 20 plus years roughly, into the industry, doing all those things. Still physically active, obviously, but he's maybe slowing down a tiny bit, not doing the crazy acrobatics as much as in this, like, but he is still pulling off some relatively, very well. I mean, not relatively, just objectively impressive things, right? And I, go back to like any of those stunts, still really good. And I think that's why I really like that middle fight so much. It is like it stays within his capabilities at the time. Still amazing, still extremely athletic for whatever his abilities are. But it's not like he's doing backflips. All right, he's not doing backflips. He's not like doing these extremely timing oriented things with high risk, right? Like, I mean, things are still risky, obviously, but like, he's not. What I'm trying to say, like, the level of danger is within his capabilities, right?
Yeah.
Is like the the what's the word I'm looking for? The consequences aren't as high, right? So that's why I kind of really liked it. It's like it's still really good and still well choreographed. Excellent fight scene. But I gotta say, like, everything around the movie is just okay. Like, you told me that the international cut kind of saving, sorry, the snowboarding scene, and I don't think anything about that scene at all. Like,
Right.
maybe it's just I'm just not a snowboarder.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care about snowboarding, then that's
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people might just not think anything of it.
Yeah.
But again, it's also a pacing thing. But
Mhm.
it's also we also have to think of this from the Jackie Chan perspective of him doing something and sometimes succeeding and sometimes failing, but he's doing it spontaneously, right? Like he's
Mhm.
just taking something and he's like, okay, well, I'm Jackie Chan. I'm kind of good overall, all around good and agile and whatnot. And I'm still going to somehow beat these people who are kind of experts
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yep.
And so he does that a little bit with snowboarding where he's out racing these skiers behind him that are starting to shoot him.
Mhm.
It's just kind of funny because you get the wide shots and you get to see him, fall. And that might not mean anything, but I appreciate it because they put in all that work so we get to see it. Where
Sure.
in the American cut, you just see like a couple scenes and then he flies off a ramp and into a helicopter. And I feel the editing
Oh, they
in
ruined
the
it.
American version just kind of ruins it for some reason
Mhm.
because that's a real stunt. I'm not sure how they really did that. Like that can't be that high off the ground, but it really is a man snowboarding off a cliff and then grabbing the uh,
Mhm.
the the part of the helicopter and holding on for his life.
Yep. Yeah. I see. Everyone tells me that's really a stunt. I don't know if it's actually Jackie. I can't really tell. It doesn't.
We
It's
don't.
hard to actually see in the cut I'm watching at least.
Yeah, no, we don't. So
Uh,
we don't see a confirmation of him turning to the camera
mhm.
or like being able to see his face in the shots. It's kind of this weird profile and it's too
Mhm.
fast.
Mhm.
but I mean, later it's him really hanging off the helicopter and then
Yeah.
falling into the ice cold water. And that's something that a lot of people don't think too fondly of, although it is a pretty crazy stunt. Him
Mhm.
just falling into not Arctic, but
It's cold.
cold water, an iced over
Yeah.
lake, and he falls
Mhm.
through, and he literally just goes in there with his normal clothes,
Yeah.
and he's freezing his ass off, and the camera is just lingering as he's probably getting close to
Yeah.
hypothermia. It's
Yeah, he's
not a
just like
stunt.
it's not sexy on screen, you know what I mean? Yeah, it
Well,
doesn't have the
that's a
visual appeal.
yeah. I mean, it goes in the opposite direction of what he did in Drunken Master 2.
Mm.
He's setting himself on fire with and putting his hands on hot coals.
You
And
you know what
here
that
he's
is?
thrown himself into Arctic water almost.
Yeah, he's just like, "Oh, I" he's trying to balance himself out. He's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, my hands are still really hot, so I'm just gonna jump in the ice bath really quickly." Yeah, I mean, let's save all this a little bit more for when we talk about it in the action segment, because otherwise we have nothing to talk about. But yeah, no, I think from a general standpoint, yeah, maybe you can illuminate me a little bit more, like because obviously you have something to contrast this to when it comes to the international cut. But like, yeah, it just felt like the maybe the version I watched, which is the only version I ever watched, it's just kind of been just okay at best for me. So with that said, are we ready to just talk about the movie some more?
Yeah, let's go into it. So, if you want to hear us talk more about the action, because I
Mhm.
watched the uncut version and I can give a little more insight into the stuff that they took out, oddly enough,
Mhm.
in the American version, you got to subscribe to us on Patreon, because there we're going to talk probably an extra hour, which we normally do,
Mhm.
about Jackie Chan's First Strike. So, if you want to
Mhm.
hear that, consider subscribing.
All right, enough said. Let's talk about First Strike, not Police Story 4. I will never call it that.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. We're at the point where we give our recommendations, but there's a whole wealth of audio you would be listening to here if you follow us on Patreon. There you can listen to the entire episode, including an exclusive action breakdown of the fights in the movie. And now on to our final thoughts.
And that's it. That's
That's Jackie Chan's
First
First
Strike.
Strike,
First
aka
Strike.
Police Story 4.
No,
No.
it's not. No, it's not Police Story 4. It's not a Police Story movie. I'd say the other two Police Story reboots are more Police Story because they're actually police stories. This is a spy movie.
Yeah.
That's whatever. I don't need to gripe on that anymore. So Police Story 4 is it's a movie. It's everything I need to say. Everything I said before is all I need to really say. It has a really good fight scene. Go check that out if you can. But I don't have the nostalgia that you do with this movie. I think I did watch it, like probably around the time that you did, but because Jackie was really blowing up in the States at that time. But like I also had watched a lot of other Jackie movies, so like this one didn't really do much for me at the time. So and then watching it again, it's like I can appreciate it a little bit more because older lens. But yeah, it's still as a movie experience, it's kind of what I remember it being like. And I always just found this movie very disjointed and really hard to sit through. But it's not a bad movie. Let's just put it out there. I don't think this movie's bad. I don't love it. Uh, so yeah, that's my overall thesis. 0. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like this movie still.
Mhm.
Probably nostalgia is holding it up for me. I recognize that it's not the best. It's the story, honestly. It's just way too complicated.
Way too
It's just
complicated.
way too complicated. Um, if you're gonna watch it, I think I would recommend the original version, the uncut version.
Oh, you do?
Even
Okay.
though
I wasn't sure you were gonna say
even
that.
though it's longer,
Mhm.
um, I feel the pacing's better with it, and there's a little
Mhm.
more action. So if you're only hearing this, I did elaborate a little more on stuff that was missing. I
Mhm.
appreciated some of the stuff was missing, especially in the underwater fight scene, which I don't think we talked about earlier. But yeah, there's a
Mhm.
whole underwater fight scene,
Mhm.
and I like it personally. It's not the best underwater fight scene. It is a fun underwater sequence, though. I
Sure.
think right now Wolf Warrior 2 is probably going to have the best underwater fight scene if you're looking for an actual fight scene underwater. But this was it for the longest time, actually, now that I think about it. It was this, and then it was that Top Secret movie, right?
Top Secret.
Yeah, like this and
I
Top
was just
Secret
gonna
were like
mention
the
this.
only ones that did an underwater fight scene from my recollection. And
Mhm.
it's not easy. And I
It's definitely not.
and I appreciate it, but like it's hard, it's hard to make it to have like elaborate fight choreography because of physics, because of the nature of moving in water. But yeah, I still kind of like this movie. I don't think I'm gonna watch this for a while though.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch other films in the police story saga before this one, even though you're telling me that this one is not really a part of it.
It's not a police story movie. It's...